Madam President, as I and others have noted, Democrats call their flagship voting bill For the People Act. But a better and more fitting title is the Nancy Pelosi Power Grab Act. My Republican colleagues have done a good job of highlighting the many flaws of this legislation in the past couple of weeks, including doing away with common sense fraud protection like voter ID, forcing mandatory same-day registration on every state, allowing paid political operatives to harvest voter ballots, and directing taxpayer dollars to the campaigns of progressive politicians. Sadly, there's plenty more. But let me also note that this recent, quote, compromise is anything but a compromise among Democrats should have been their starting offer to Republicans, not their final offer. The most recent versions still run afoul of the Constitution by trampling on the First Amendment rights of free speech and taking away redistricting from the states. And while ID is still required to vote, the bill expands what kind of ID meets that requirement, such as a utility bill. Well, the last time I looked, there was not a photo on our utility bill. The most secure form of identification is a government-issued photo ID. States shouldn't be forced to water that down. Americans want faith and trust in the integrity of their election process. This bill does not provide solutions to strengthen these processes. And once Americans learn what's in this bill, they will agree. The Pelosi power grab yanks power from the states. The Pelosi power grab lets politicians stuff their pockets with taxpayers' dollars. And guess what, folks? A slightly different version of a federal takeover of election is still a federal takeover of elections. That's exactly what this new version of S1 is. It's hard to even call this version of S1 a compromise when the Democrats only compromise with members of their own party. This was not a bipartisan negotiation to get an end product that both sides of the aisle could support. The last time I checked, we still have a 50-50 Senate. There has been no negotiation with our side. But regardless of its form, this bill does not solve the problems currently facing our election system. It makes the problems worse. You know, in sports, one team changing the rules by themselves is called cheating. It is seen for what is, a power grab. It is stacking the rules to win the game instead of doing the hard work necessary to get the job done. Folks may be scratching their head as to why one political party thinks they can completely change the rules of elections all by themselves. But if you've been paying attention to what the progressives have been up to recently, it won't come as a big surprise. Changing our country as we know it is the end game. That's why they want to pass this Pelosi power grab, so those who disagree with them have a harder time winning at the ballot box.